didn't grow up with positive reinforcement, so I don't know how to be encouraging without sounding like I'm talking to a pet, like, who's a good husband? Who's a good husband? Off the couch, who's a good husband?
I got married 2 years ago. But we didn't go on our honeymoon until last year. Yeah, we went to Italy. Yeah. Boy, they are Italian over there. You think you're prepared for it, because like it's Italy, and then you're sitting at a cafe in Rome, and the server comes over and he's like, okay, so first of all, we know do spaghetti. And you're sitting there like, oh my God. The racist didn't go far enough this time.
I don't actually worry about my boyfriend cheating on me. I feel like men's bodies start to really turn on them in their 40s. He has to wake up every 2 hours in the night to pee. And when I see him in the morning with bags under his eyes, I hug him and I go, babe, I'm sorry you didn't sleep well. And then I think, you're too exhausted to cheat on me. You're not getting enough REM to pull off 2 relationships. I like you slow like this. Can catch you if I need to. Get back here. But now the second I see him start to reach for melatonin, I'm like, the f*** are you resting up for, huh? You stay sleepy.
Talking about kids and marriage, where a lot of people would make graphic jokes about how those children were conceived, how they were brought into the world. I will not be doing that because my husband is a very private person. He would have you know that we reproduce asexually. Like amoeba. He is so uptight about this kind of thing that he will not even send me any flirty texts. I try. A couple weeks ago, I texted him, hey there, looking pretty sexy today. He replied, received. With a period. I said, what are you worried about? We're married. He said, you're not thinking. What about this? What if we got into legal trouble and our phones got subpoenaed and our texts to one another were read aloud in open court? I said, okay, if that scenario played out, we would have a lot bigger issues than a couple of eggplant emoji.
I love being married. I know that's weird to hear from a male comedian, you know? We're always just like, I'm married, brr. Like you failed. Like, oh no, you found someone to love you, you gross fat sack of trash. That's a failure, really? Were you gonna be surfing the seas of at some point? You creep. I don't think that was gonna happen. I think she saved you from hell. I think that's what happened. When people talk about like the best things about marriage and the worst things about marriage, that's it. Never the in-between. They talk about the worst, which is what? You'll fall out of love with each other, or you're stuck with the same lover your whole life, you know? Oh no. Or, you know, the best, which is you have someone who loves you for the things you hate about yourself. That's amazing. And you have a best friend that you that's cool, you know? That's a good thing. That's a good thing. But we don't talk about the awesome little things in between. Like you have someone to mess with the rest of your life. And to get rid of you, they have to involve the law. You're trapped. And I'm not saying do it all the time. Don't, you know, be abusive or every once in a while, do a little razz, right? Here's a free one. Did you guys know that if you're in public and you're holding hands with someone and you say some complete insanity, they're a part of that insanity now? They're on Team Insane. People look at them, they're like, you have sex with this man? You're with him?
Like, I'm definitely the kind of person, like, he has to put up with my flaws, too. And I'm definitely the kind of person that, you know, I think the hardest thing he has to put up with is the fact that my mood depends on your tone. don't have to tell me. I know it's toxic. I'm aware. I'm working on it. It's not fun, you know what I mean? To be the kind of person that's always like, what'd you say? And at this point, we've established that when a woman says, what'd you say? She's not asking you to repeat what you said. She is asking you to rethink what you said.
I don't usually mind our age gap, but there is that new filter on TikTok where couples are posting pictures together, and then a filter goes across the screen, and it shows you what you'll look like together in 50 years. Like it ages you. So I did that with a picture of me and my boyfriend, and when the filter went across the screen, it just made him disappear. It was just me holding an urn. I was like, what? No, please. And my boyfriend was like, I want to see the picture. I was like, oh, my phone died. And so did you. What am I going to do? He does hate that he looks older than me. He's been trying to get me to look older faster. I think he wants to, like, microwave my face. On my birthday, as a prank, he hid all of my expensive skin creams, and when I opened my bathroom cupboard, there was just a pack of cigarettes. Like a tanning bed coupon. Well, be careful what you wish for. You're gonna wake up next to Mick Jagger. I have been telling my single friends that they should date somebody older than them. It's the best. They got their lives together. They're financially secure. My boyfriend has a lake cabin. You think I give a shit that he has a fake hip? I don't.
I'm getting old. And you never know how you're going to find out that you're getting old. But it comes for all of us. I heard a Vampire Weekend song in a blood pressure commercial. And I am currently on that blood pressure medication. I don't know what happened to me. I used to be beautiful. I used to be young and beautiful. My body was perfect. I could eat Taco Bell and then go to the gym and I was fine. I could do that. I could do these things. And now, if I eat a piece of pizza, I can't read.
He hesitated to ask me out when we first met because I'm 3 inches taller than he is. And he said, I know a lot of women don't want to date shorter guys. I said, when I was single, I was goal-oriented. I said, look, if I can just find a man who is loving, who is supportive, who respects my boundaries by not asking me how much money I spent at Target. I don't care if he played one of the Munchkins in The Wizard of Oz. I'll stuff that man into a baby Bjorn. Take him out for a date night. We'll have a lovely time.
And my last special, I talked about this when my son was born, because I didn't have a daughter at that time. When my son was born and the doctor handed me my son. It's crazy as a father because I knew I would die for him, right? And I don't even know this dude. He could be a terrible human being, but I would die for him, you know? But when they handed me my daughter, oh, it was different. I was like, oh, okay. I would kill for you. I became a murderer overnight. Because the family dynamic to me is crazy. Like, I would die for my son, I would kill for my daughter. But here's what's crazy. I wouldn't kill for my wife. Because that's not my job. That's her father's job. I don't want to step on anybody's toes.
You know, but like, I love my wife, but she's from a different town in rural Tennessee. Like, her blood ain't top shelf for nothing, you know? Like, let's be honest. Like, my wife's blood is like boxed wine. You know, it's like, it's nobody's favorite, but people can handle it in a pinch, you know? My blood's just moonshine made in a radiator, dude. Like, it's just poison. That's all it is. Right? So I worry all the time about how my kids are going to turn out, right? But believe it or not, living in Los Angeles has kind of helped me with this. Because, like, you live in LA, you look around, you see plenty of rich white kids that are all f***ed up too, you know? And it makes me feel better. I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's not about the blood. Maybe it's just a crapshoot either way, right? But I got to say, I feel like that's another way in which they're different is childhood trauma. Because, like, rich white kids are like, yeah, my mother was never very emotionally available, and I've got a lot of residual psychological scarring from that. And white trash kids are like, I got beat with a tire iron. I have actual scars from that.
We were bound to bump heads, man, but we're also both in therapy. And I don't know if you've ever fought with a healthy person, but it's annoying. Because we'd get into these big blow-up fights, right, where we would just yell at each other, and then I'd storm out, right, and I'd have time to process. And I'd come back in, and I'd be like, ugh. I realized my reaction to the previous situation is based on trauma from a former relationship that I shouldn't bring into this current space. Don't get too excited, baby girl. And then my husband would come in and he'd be like, ugh, I want you to know that I hear you and I see you. I was like, I hate us. I don't want to be us, I want to jump us. I don't like us. I come from a family where you flip a table to make a point, you know what I'm saying? Like, this feels too healthy, you know what I'm saying?
I got married about a year and a half ago. Thank you. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, thank you very much. It was my second marriage. My second marriage. I'd been married before. And I thought marriage is such a sacred, holy, once-in-a-lifetime thing. Let's do it again. But even though it was my second marriage, it was my wife's first. So you still got to go all in. You know, you can't cheap out. You can't do the Forrest Gump, 6 people in the backyard. You're spending money. You're spending money. But even though it's her first time and it's a big deal, you've done it. It is the second time on the roller coaster. It's like, are you scared? No, it goes up and down and around and dancing and cake. It's fine. It's not a big deal. That's what they do. We're gathered together before God. No, I know. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah. With the ring and the cake and the yeah. Till death do you part. Sure thing, boss. Whatever you say. Whatever makes you happy, boss. That's what they say. Till death do you part. That's just God's way of saying, I can get you out of this. It's a little extreme. The way I see it, I didn't get divorced. I cheated death.
I have 2 kids, and I also have 50% custody of the kids. And, well, if you know anything about that, you know that's a lot of custody. I've actually sat down and worked it out. That's half of my time. And that's real time. That you don't get back. It's real. Again, I love my kids very much. But it's time to go to your mom's house. I have a 12-year-old daughter, and she will not shut the up, man. Oh my God. Again, I like her a lot. She's probably in my top 5. I just don't know how to tell her any other way. I don't give a flying about Ariana Grande.
And I think that's the biggest thing I've learned from this wild ride of being someone not at all cut out to have kids, and yet I have this big family, is whether you're a parent or you're an aunt or an uncle, if you work with kids in any capacity, you have to connect with them in a way that is authentic to you, even if it looks a little different. And it took me a while to learn this. When I was a young mom, I thought that all moms were supposed to do glitter crafts with kids. I very quickly learned that if I ever do glitter crafts with young children again, the only result of that's going to be that I will be the most sparkly person in the psych ward. Cannot do it. But I realized, look, if it involving your family in some absolutely grandiose plan that sounds amazing and exciting, and you have not thought through any details about how you are actually going to make this happen, I am your woman.
I spent a lot of my younger years so judged because I didn't speak Spanish well enough for the people around me that I just stopped altogether and didn't learn till I was older. And here's the thing, I'm also third generation. And if you're third generation, then you know what I'm talking about. By the time I came around, everybody had assimilated already. So English was the norm in our household. When my parents were growing up, it was different. They spoke Spanish only inside the house. But that's because at that time, there was something called a gag law, where Puerto Ricans could not display a Puerto Rican flag or speak or sing any patriotic songs. So it was dangerous to speak Spanish outside of the house. So for me, I didn't speak it in the house, only spoke English. So I learned it from all of my coworkers when I started working. And all of my coworkers were Mexican. So my Spanish is very confusing. Because I'm a Puerto Rican who speaks Spanish with a Mexican accent, but uses Puerto Rican and Mexican terminology. My Spanish sounds like what a ransom note looks like. Like, people who are fluent in Spanish hear me speak Spanish and they're like, where are you from? I don't know, man, I'm trying to figure it out. My son does, he speaks Spanish, but he's nervous in Spanish, so he like whispers in Spanish. I know, it's adorable and creepy, huh? Kids do not know the rules of whispering. So they just like do it whenever. I'll be like washing the dishes and behind me I hear, siete. Mommy's gonna burn some sage now. Try to get the demon of Columbus out of you.
Glad I don't have to date anymore because, like, as soon as I got married, I lost all charm and ability to flirt. Like, and I get it. Like, I'm married. I'm not supposed to be flirting. But, like, even if I'm just at the grocery store and a guy's, like, trying to be flirty with me, I get so awkward. Like, if a guy tries to flirt with me, I'm like, hi. Like, Ange, just because you're married doesn't mean you have to get ugly for strangers. And sometimes, like, I'll be sitting with my single friends, and we're just, like, hanging out, and they'll be on the apps, like, swipe, swipe, swipe. And I'm sitting next to them on Instagram, like, scroll, scroll, scroll. I'm on Instagram a lot. Sometimes I'll just sit on the couch and just scroll through Instagram for, like, hours. And my husband's like, you're addicted to your phone, which is a little extreme. So I text him back, no, I'm not. But I am. I'm on my phone a lot. Like, way too much. But the people who use their phone while they're on the toilet, that's disgusting. And I am one of those people. What, you thought I wasn't? Girl, please. Sometimes I go to the bathroom and I sit down and I'm like, oh man, forgot my phone. And I just gotta sit there all bored. I wonder what my phone is doing. I have crown molding? Oh, somebody needs to clean in here. That's one option. If you go to the bathroom and you forget your phone, you could just sit there bored. Or you can do the squat and run. Do you guys know the squat and run? The squat and run is when you know where your phone is. It's not that far away. So you squat and run. An option. Maybe some of you are like, ugh, that's nasty. Then don't do it. This is how bad it's gotten. I used to take my phone with me to the bathroom only when I knew I was gonna be there for a while. But now, even if I just have to pee, I take my phone. I sit down, I pee, start scrolling through Instagram. Next thing you know, been there so long, gotta pee again. 2 pee cycles? It's a problem. If you go to the bathroom, you forget your phone, these are your options. You can sit there bored, do the squat and run, or you can call for an assist. Babe! Babe? He gives me anxiety even when I'm on the toilet. I get anxiety about all kinds of things. Like, I get anxiety about having kids. My husband and I always said we didn't want kids. And now that I'm getting older, I'm like, hey, are we for sure that we don't want kids? Because that tick-tock clock's a tick. And I always said I didn't want kids because I like my life just the way it is. I don't want to have a kid and mess it up. But all my friends have kids. Like my friend Maya, she has 2 kids. She'll tell me sometimes, she'll be like, oh my God, Mateo has the flu. He was throwing up all night. I had to be up at 5 a.m. to go to work. Then I have to pick up Noah from school with foot, hand, mouth disease, whatever that is. I haven't slept since 2006. But it's so worth it. Really? Doesn't sound worth it. But then I look at my nephew, my sister's son, Austin. I love that kid. He's the coolest little kid. Like, he's funny. He's got a good personality. He's kind. He loves people. He's tender-hearted. He has manners. He eats his vegetables. I look at him and I'm like, okay, you know what? If I could be guaranteed to have one like that, I will think about it. But then I look at some of my other friends' kids. You ever have a kid in your life that just the thought of spanking them brings you joy? Because I have some kids in my life that I'd be like, ooh, you wait till your mom turns around. He fell down. I don't know. That was weird. When you don't want kids, you take precautions to make sure you don't have them, like birth control. Well, birth control has hormones, and hormones gave me melasma. You know what melasma is? It's a brown skin mustache. Yeah, I have a mustache. You can't see it because I'm wearing makeup. But when I'm not wearing makeup, I look like my brother. That's messed up. Sometimes if I don't want to wear makeup and just be fresh-faced, go run some errands, when I get to the store, they ask me my preferred pronouns. They go, excuse me, ma'am. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, they. Any of those work, thanks. So now I have a dilemma. Do I want a brown mustache or brown babies?
My husband and I met at the University of Tennessee while he was stalking me. He was so in love with me. And tell me, you said, what'd you say your name was? Because I'm in brain fog. Nick, let me tell you something. I was cute, Nick. I was so cute. I was thin, and I had eyebrows. And my husband was so tickled with me that he bought me presents for no reason, no special occasion. I guess you boys know what he was after. He got it. So now, and that was sinful. It was the 80s. So I had a bunch of kids by him and married him, had a bunch of kids, and then now, Lord, we've been married, it'll be 28 years in April. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, y'all. I truly believe that he would not pull me out of a burning vehicle. I've had a big week. I've been in Portland, Oregon this week. Yeah, and they're so weird. And the little guy that introduced me did not identify as human. And so he had to introduce me as a wife and mother, and that was hard. But anyway, I've been in Portland, and then I was in Tampa last night. I know, and they were darling. And then I go to Orlando tomorrow night, and then I go home. But anyway, I hope that I can remember what I'm saying, because I've been going and working a lot, and I am in full menopause. I do a podcast called Sweaty and Pissed. Thank you. My nurse practitioner, I do it with her, and she's brilliant. So she talks about the medical part, and I talk about pinto beans. But anyway, she just did my annual, and I'm 54 years old, and she said, Leanne, you got to take that IUD out. It's time. You're old and crusty, and you don't need it anymore. And it hurt my feelings, because I always thought I'd be able to have children as long as I lived, which was crazy, because I'm 54, I'd leave a baby at Target by accident. But anyway, she put on a big headlamp, went in and got it, and then let me borrow it later for a hike. But let me tell y'all, my husband never had a vasectomy, and he said, I'm not going to get one, Leanne, because what if something happens to you? I know, and I need to marry a young woman, and she wants children. And I said, bless her heart. I'll pray for her. Please don't put a tight budget on her like you have me. Okay. My husband and I are empty nesters. These children walked off and left me with their daddy, and he is so not fun. Because he's got to make a living. She's got to make a living and all that money going out. Everybody's getting their eyebrows waxed and stuff like that. So, and you know, kids walk out of a room, they don't turn the lights out when they leave, and that makes a man a butthole. But it's just me and him. And we've got 2 beagles that we are in love with, and we just sit and kiss them in the mouth. And because we miss these kids so bad. And we let them sleep in the bed with us, these dogs. And they're nasty. He looks smart. Do you do math? I know it, honey. I get it. I dig it. Okay, so I didn't mean to get off on that tangent. Okay, so we get in the bed. We've got 2 beagles. The oldest one is from Ogden, Utah. My husband got him on a business trip and flew out there on a company plane, and the plane needed to be worked on, and so he went to a parking lot and called me and said, there's a man in a parking lot with a box full of beagles, puppies, and I want one of them. And I said, this isn't a good time for me. And he said, it'll be fine, and hung up the phone. But that beagle has been yummy, and he's now 12 years old. He's a little old man, white in the face. I know he's yummy, and my husband worships him. So we get in the bed, and my husband pulls him up to him and spoons him in the bed. And that old beagle looks at me like, I don't want him. I want you. And I say, hold on. And when my husband drifts off to sleep, then that old beagle scooches over and gets in the crook of my legs. All right, and he's a hot, hairy beagle. I'm in full menopause. So menopause, for y'all that haven't gone through it yet, you feel like you're being microwaved from within. And it comes out the top of your head. And it's really bad at night. It's covers off, covers on, covers off, covers on. It makes you bitter. Okay, so anyway, he scooches over and gets in the crook of my leg. So I end up on a king-size bed, about this much room. Then the little beagle, who's a pocket beagle named Gigi, who is yummy, she gets in the bed, turns around several times, bangs her little butthole up against my face. And I don't care because I love her. And I just want to sleep, and it's not going to happen. Because when you're in menopause, you don't sleep. And I don't want to get hooked on dope. So I take melatonin, passion flower, GABA, L-theanine, valerian root, and pray to the dear Lord that I can fall asleep. And just when I get in a deep REM, my husband, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I don't know what happens, but he jostles awake, reaches over, and grabs one of my breasts. And it puts me into a blind rage. And I know you boys need that. And that's the way God made y'all. And when I get to heaven, I'm going to ask him about it. That's how y'all show love. But I say to my husband, I know you want to do it, and I'll do it. I'll do it. But can we do it before 10 o'clock? When I know my name, and I know your name. But I waller in the bed all night. I waller. Do y'all know anybody from Tennessee? Do I need an interpreter? Oh, okay. We say words like waller. We waller dogs and waller babies, and I'm wallering in the bed all night. And then I get up the next morning, and I think, oh, I'm going to clean out a closet. I hadn't slept one bit. This Fitbit says to me, you hadn't slept, girl. Okay, so I go to clean out a closet, and I end up in the driveway, and I don't even know how I got there. Let me tell you boys up here in Naples, y'all, I saw these fancy cars out here. My husband is very, very tight with money. Let me tell y'all that I'm driving a 2009 white Honda Pilot that's got 235,000 miles on it. Last year, lights started coming on saying, "Get out, Leanne." My husband drives a Tahoe, and the T and A is gone. He is very tight and has been saving for our retirement since he was 26 years old. I know. I hope I can live to enjoy it. But he doesn't like to spend money. So anyway, I'm looking. I need to get a new car, and I've been looking out here in this parking lot. If God forbid something happened to him, I'd go on Weight Watchers and come down here. And even though, Lord, me and my best friend, we've talked about it because I'm 54, she's 55, and we've talked about, Lord, what if we had to get a man? What if we had to get out here and date? I mean, it would cost me $1,000 just for the grooming. I've got something wrong with this toe. Toenail. I need to be on Lamisil. It's thick. Oh, if I had to get out here. She loves her husband, but she said, oh, well, if I had to, I guess I could show somebody my left breast. She said, it looks okay. Oh, y'all, all right, let me...
I've got to be a better person for my children. I can't let them see who I really am. Look away, children, don't look at Mama in the eye, look away.
The only way I know how to parent my children is to lie to them. We all lie to our children. Every parent lies to our children, particularly when they're young. There's three fundamental lies that we say to our kids, yeah? Number one, Father Christmas. Apparently he's a thing. Yeah, we've all agreed that, not just in this country, it seems to be international. We've all agreed that Father Christmas is a thing. I say to my kids, now listen, don't you talk to strangers, especially any strange men, right? But Christmas night, some big fat fella will be popping into your bedroom to drop off some presents, okay? I know it's a mixed message, but don't worry about it. Number two, the tooth fairy. My kids are not freaked out by this at all. They have accepted this. We have told them that some tiny little... What is it? Some tiny little thing is going to be buzzing around at night. It's going to nick their teeth and leave some money under the pillow, and they're like, Mama, I can't wait. Surely that's the stuff of nightmares, isn't it? Can you imagine going to sleep at night knowing that was going to happen? You wouldn't be able to sleep. You'd be like that. Where is it? Where is it? Number three, the biggest lie of all that we say to our children, and that is, everything's gonna be all right. We have to say that. We have to say that to our kids for when we are confronted by questions from our children. Questions, right? Questions like this. Mama, I've got a question for you, Mama. Mama. Whatever the fuck it is, could you just get on with it, mate? Because this is really painful, okay? So just let me know what it is, okay? Mama, does global warming mean listen. 2 things, okay? First, what are we going to do about that speech impediment? We'll circle back to that. And second, now listen. Of course, it doesn't mean that we're all going to die. Okay, darling? It doesn't mean that. All it means is that the planet's got a bad tum-tum. The planet not feeling very well. But if we all do our bit, you know what? We can make the planet feel better. Oh, Mama, I want to make the planet feel better, so I'm going to take my paper straw and I'm going to put it in the recycling. Oh, darling. You do that. You do that. Because it's going to make all difference. Because the planet's on fire, okay? You can't say that to your kids. You gotta offer them some hope, some optimism, even though you know in 20 years' time they're gonna get sunburnt in January holidaying in Dundee. You can't say that to them.